Team Kevin Bizier, welcome. Mark, I know you're a bit easier to understand me than others, and we know that you've trained very hard for this fight. This is an opportunity of a lifetime for Kevin Bizier. A lot of people looking past Kevin Bizier, like I said earlier, not us. But tell us a little bit about the camp you've had, the shape Kevin's in, and your thoughts going into the fight on Saturday.
First of all, I would like to thank Eddie Earns and Yvon Michel to put things together to make that happen. It's a great opportunity for Kevin Bizier. We had an amazing training camp with a very good quality of sparring partner. We have no excuse, no injury. We have nothing to lose and everything to gain here. Thank you.
Obviously, I'm sure you've studied Kell Brook leading up to this fight. I, for one, feel that the styles gel very well in this fight to make it a great fight. Both fighters like to stand and fight, both like to come forward, both punch hard, both have good chins. What have you seen in the build-up, without obviously giving your tactics away, but talking about the styles of the fight? We know Kevin always likes to excite.
For sure, I don't want to explain too much exactly what we're going to do Saturday night. I think Kell is a very good fighter, complete fighter who can do a lot of stuff in the ring. And it's the same thing for Kevin Bizier. He fought all his life at the international amateur level. Now he's a professional. He's a mandatory challenger. He has a lot of ability, and he can adapt to any kind of situation in the ring. I think when you look at both styles, that fight is a guaranteed success for the fans.
Thank you. Before we hear from Kevin, Yvonne, welcome. And we know you have a very close relationship with Kevin Bizier. This is a fight you're very passionate about, and a huge opportunity for Kevin to become world champion.
Yes, absolutely. So first, I'd like to thank you very much for having us here. You have your team, and you have treated us very first class, and we really appreciate. You know, we have made that deal for Brook and Bizier about a day and a half before the first bid date, while Eddie was in his vacation in the Caribbean with his family. I was on the ski slope with mine in the Eastern Township in Quebec. So I know you are very, very busy. You know, I want to congratulate you. I see that you have 4 weeks in a row fights, World Championship fights, so it's very impressive. And I really like the way you're conducting the press conference here. I'm going to take some tips from you. Kevin Bizier has earned his position here. It hasn't been a gift. He's been pro since 8 years now. He traveled well. He fought in the amateur boxing. He was 7-year Canadian champion. He was a Canadian team member. He fought here in England, in Liverpool. He fought 4 fights. Just before he turned pro. He won his position as a mandatory contender when he knocked out undefeated Frederick Lawson. It was in Miami, far away from his own place. And so you cannot have a better dedicated athlete. You cannot have a better team than the team that surround him for his preparation. He knew that he was going to fight for the World Championship right after the Lawson fight, so it was early November. So he's been training for that since that date, March 26th. It's the best date that we could have got for him to be ready. And I want to talk just a little bit now about his motivation. You know, his motivation is that high. It's like, for him, he's gonna fight like if it is his last fight ever. I guarantee you that Kevin will get in the ring, and if you think that he's gonna go away in 1 or 2 rounds, no, you better, I'm telling you, he will be there until the end. You know, I read everywhere. I read that Kell Brook was hoping to have a good opposition, to have a good fight for your fan at some time. You have to be careful what you wish for, because you can have it, and then when you have it, you have to cope with it. So Kevin Bizier is coming here to win the title and to go back home with the IBF belt. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yvonne. Just tell us briefly about what this would mean back home in Canada and Quebec. I know, you know, we talked about potentially bringing this fight to that area. Kevin's very popular over there. big support back home, of course, on TV in Canada as well.
He is the, yes, going to be on pay-per-view. We have about 150 bars that have bought the fight already. Kevin is the first boxer ever born in Quebec City to fight for a world championship. So the city mayor is behind him. No winning. If you're telling us that there will be between 7,000 and 10,000 people, there would have been more people than that at the Videotron Center in Quebec City. And if winning the title, there will be 18,000 people waiting for him for his next fight over there. He is very popular. He's a family man. Everybody likes to be associated with Kevin Bizier, and he will not disappoint.
Thank you. Kevin, a huge opportunity for you on Saturday night. I know you're very excited about the fight.
I speak French for, I'm not very good in English. Regarde, je voulais juste dire que, regarde, c'est vrai que c'est la plus grosse opportunité de toute ma vie. Puis on sait que c'est une grosse mission, mais on va essayer de faire de mieux samedi.
Says this is, he understands that this is a great task, that he's very motivated, that he's well prepared, and he's going to do everything he can to get the win Saturday.
Thank you. Dom, it's definitely been the longest training camp of all time. Kell not been out of the ring for this long for some period. He's been extremely disciplined since the injury that forced him out of the Diego Chavez fight. And I think he's looking forward to going in there and putting on a great display on Saturday.
Yeah, he's been in camp a long time. He's fit, he's strong, he's on weight. And once again, we're at the mandatory position again. Kevin Bizier, who's had the fortune to see Jojo Dano, who's boxed twice, been with Kell Brook. He knows what's coming, he knows what to expect, and sometimes in boxing that's a good thing. He's a tough guy, he can punch, and he put in two good performances against Jojo Dan. But on Saturday night, it's going to be a different kettle of fish to Jojo Dan with Kell Brook. I watched Kevin yesterday, Tuesday in the workout on the pads. It looks like he's got plenty of power, plenty of snap. For me, he looked a little bit tense, like he was on edge. A bit like a man on his wedding night who's got something to prove. But if he goes out on Saturday night, relaxes, enjoys it, I'm sure he won't feel a thing. But he's going to come and give a good fight. He's going to be up for it. It's his big chance, and I'm expecting him, to go at least 6 or 7 rounds before maybe it gets a bit too much for him. He sorts to unravel a little bit, and then Kell Brook takes him out. Obviously,
we know there's been a huge amount of frustration over the period with injuries, forcing Kell Brook out of fights. How concerned are you that Kell, he talked in his interviews about the fact that he just wants to go in and have a real fight. He wants to have a tear up, that he sticks to the game plan that you, or are you willing to let him go into that mode?
There's always a time and a place for a tear up, and that's generally when you box the guy to a place where you can start having a tear up with him and there's nothing left in him. And I think over the last, I've seen a couple of fights where kids have gone out. One particular fight, Anthony Joshua and the other guy, and they started off with a punch up, and then they finished off boxing. But the way we do it is we start off boxing, break them down, and then get into a bit of a punch up and finish them off. And I think that's the proper way to do it. So Kell's always wants to get let off the leash, but he's a good boxer. He picks his way in first. He finds the openings. He's very precise. Like he did with Frankie Gavin. A lot of people talking about Frankie Gavin being fantastic on his feet. And Kell's going to have problems breaking him down and closing him down. And within 4 or 5 rounds he'd done that, and he knocked him out in 6. So Kell can do it both ways. He can have a fight, he can box, whichever way it's going to be on Saturday night. I'm sure Kell Brook's going to pull it out of the bag, give the fans what they want.
Obviously, you talked about Kevin Bizier being a big puncher. We know that. We know he's got a good chin as well. How important is it, with everybody talking about what's next, to stay in the moment on Saturday night? We've seen fighters in the past, whether it's Tyson against Douglas or Morales against Raheem, take their eye off the ball looking at other fights and make mistakes.
Well, we've had this before. I remember Kell boxing in Atlantic City in 2011, I think, and he came into the gym and said, Eddie's going to get with this guy, it's going to be an easy fight. And I said to him, there's no easy fights in boxing. And we don't allow the fighters to under-prepare. whether it's in their mind or not to do it or not, it's down to them. But when they're in the gym, there's no easy workouts, there's no easy spars, everything's full on. And we rolled up into that fight, and the guy who turned up was in immaculate condition. He had a Rocky t-shirt on. He knew everything about Kell Brook, everything about the gym. And that was a prime example of not underestimating it. For 4 or 5 rounds, he came out and threw everything at Kell Brook, bust Kell a few times. He says, "I'm going to have to win and finish him." I says, "No, wait your chance, it'll come." As soon as Kell gets hit with a shot, something decent, he wants to have a war. But it took his time. Eventually, he finished the kid off. And unfortunately, afterwards, the kid ended up in hospital. But that's what boxing's about. So we learned the lesson fairly early on with Kell Brook. Never tell anybody it's going to be an easy fight. It's not going to be an easy fight with Kevin Bizier. He's tough. We've not overlooked him. We've done all the work. We're not looking past Kevin Bizier, because to get past Kevin, get to the big fights, you've got to beat Kevin Bizier, and you've got to beat Kevin Bizier in style. He's got a level. He's got a measure. He's lost twice to Jojo Dan. He's around about that level. But he's a different fighter to Jojo Dan. He's not a southpaw. He's not really a boxer. He'll have a bit of a fight, and Jojo Dan just managed to box his way through that fight. But Kevin Bizier will stand there. He will trade punches, to get his own shots off. And we'll see what happens on Saturday night. But Kell's a precise puncher. He's very accurate. He's very powerful. And I think on Saturday night, Kevin Bizier's probably going to realise after 4 or 5 rounds he's out of his depth.
Kell Brook, 10 months nearly till you were last in the ring. A quick turnaround in that fight from the Jojo Dan, which was 12 months nearly since you've walked out in front of your people at Sheffield Arena. I know you're so excited to be back at the arena on Saturday night, and so excited to be fighting again.
Absolutely, but I'm desperate for an old-fashioned war. This Saturday I'm desperate for an old-fashioned war. I know that Bizier is a strong come-forward fighter, and I'm looking to excite everybody who comes to the show and have an old-fashioned war. I'm very excited. It's been nearly a year since I was back in the Sheffield Arena. And this is fight week. I can't wait to get weighed in, get some scran in there, and get ready for fight night. Camp has gone, unbelievably well. But we've obviously missed out on a few things. Not celebrating birthdays and over Christmas. But my mind's been on the job in hand, and I've made sure that there's no stone being unturned. We've done everything right, and Saturday night it's about breaking Mr. Bizier's heart, and then it's about breaking his bones. So Saturday night, here we go.
Obviously, people talk about the fights in the future for you. How important is it? Obviously, you have to get through Saturday night. If you feel the pressure to look good on Saturday night, you need to shine. People talk about you being the #1 ranked fighter in the division. Feel you're going to have to prove that against Kevin Bizier first?
I have, I'm the IBF champion of the world, and I need to go out there and show everybody why I'm the champion. I've got to look good in this fight, and I believe that I'm the best welterweight on the planet, and I'm ready for them big fights. I always rise to the occasion. I always find a way. I've seen every style our gym, is built on seeing every style. That's why we get the Ingle style. Come to us, but this is me now. I'm 30 this year. I wanna show the world. I am the best, and I'm ready for them big fights. I'm ready for them.
Finally, explain your thoughts going in when you're standing up on that stage on Saturday night. All of the lights comes out. 7,000-8,000 people in the arena. The tingle up your spine. What you live for as a professional fighter.
That's it. This is what I was born for. In the dressing room, I've got my gloves on. I'm hitting the pads. I'm hearing the fans getting louder. It's getting nearer the time. And then you walk down the tunnel and you play all of the lights. And it's your time. You walk out there. You see all the fans. Shouting your name, and you're walking closer to that ring, and you feel invincible. You've done everything right. It's about getting in and just enjoying the night. What a night it's going to be.
Thank you, Kell Brook. A great night of action, March the 26th, just down the road at the Sheffield Arena. We'll be live and exclusive on Sky Sports 1 from 7:30. We expect around 4.5 hours of coverage and live action. coming at you from the arena. The weigh-in will take place at the Winter Gardens tomorrow at 1 p.m, which is right by the Mercure Hotel where we had the workout. And I want to wish everybody on this table the best of luck. Thank you all, so many people, for coming out today. Enjoy the night, get behind, I believe, one of the best fighters the country has ever seen in Kell Brook, and expect a wonderful main event, chief support action, and a packed card on Saturday night. Thank you very much. We're going to break the camp.